Welcome. Let's talk about what is Kubernetes or K8s. We will go and talk about this. Before that, we need to understand something. We need to understand how the application deployment history worked out so far. How were we deploying applications and their infrastructure setup and the life cycle. Once we understood those things, then answering this question, what is Kubernetes, will be really easy. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and look at the application deployment history. So if we talk about the traditional application deployment approach, it used to be that we used to get big racks of hardware. On top of it, we were having operating system installed, Linux or any other operating system, sometimes Windows. And on top of this, we were installing our softwares or applications. Of course, this worked out well, but it led to a problem: insufficient or inefficient utilization of resources. So these resources that we had on our hardware like RAM and other stuffs and the CPU, those were not utilized optimally. So sometimes this utilization went up, sometimes went down. So let's say this application was consuming too much of CPU and memory, so it was getting shortage for this application or maybe this one. So this was inefficient way of sharing this whole resources that was available. So that was the disadvantage of traditional application deployment. Then we move to virtualization and virtualization deployment mode. What changed here is we had hardware, on top of it we installed operating system. But then on top of it, this was called as the host operating system, and on top of it we installed a software called hypervisor. And then we started creating virtual machines. They were not physical hardware machine, but they were just virtual machines which we created out of this big machine. And then this virtual machine was having its own operating system and libraries. And then what we were doing is we were installing our applications on this virtual machine. Similarly for others as well. So this was more the virtualized deployment. This virtualized deployment was better approach than the traditional deployment because the utilization of resources improved drastically. So here what we found is the utilization of the actual physical operating systems and CPU and memory, they were improved, but it was still not good. The reason is this particular virtual machine was having its own operating system, and this operating system was also consuming resources. So that was not good in this approach. Hence, we had to find something new, which would have been much more efficient. So that one we will talk about in our next video. Thank you.